Hello, this is Moses from Zaatar Gardens, and here's my daughter, my little baby daughter, Eileen. Say hi. Hi. The premise of this video are many, and I'm gonna list through them right now so you guys can see what will be in this video. I wanted to choose plants that grow quickly. I wanted to have some plants that have a wide range of planting zones. Plants that are easy to grow. You don't want to be worrying about these plants. You're already worrying enough as it is. You shouldn't be worrying about your garden as well. Another thing that these videos didn't talk about on YouTube and Instagram for survival garden is how to deter thieves from stealing your crop. If it gets really bad, thieves are going to come into your yard. They already did in my front yard. It took some strawberries. A family with children took strawberries out of my garden. So imagine if everybody's hungry. Another thing that wasn't mentioned is bartering. What type of plants will be more valuable to other people? Let's say you don't have chickens, you want eggs, but you have tons of this vegetable, root crop, or fruit, or berry, or herbs that you can trade for. What would be most valuable in those terms? Another thing that needs to be thought of is there's many people right now, including in my YouTube analytics, showing just a huge, I guess it'll be this direction for you guys, a huge incline of viewership. And I'm gonna guess those are a lot of beginning gardeners that don't have anything established yet. So you can't tell them to plant difficult crops or crops that take a long time to get a return on. What is that, baby? What? Oh. Now I have a video showing all the plants I grow, many of them actually. One of them is 70 plus fruit trees that I grow in an average size front and backyard and side yard. But a lot of people don't have that space. Some of them are just an apartment or they only have a balcony. So a lot of gardeners can only grow in pots. So I'm gonna focus on some plants or almost all the plants that can be grown in pots easily. Also, I'm gonna be focusing on plants that don't need a lot of space and also plants that don't need a lot of attention. I'm gonna be talking about key medicinal plants that you should be growing, plants that are gonna be healthy for your pets to eat because your pets have to eat in a food shortage as well. Please talk to your veterinarian before though. And lastly, I'm gonna be talking about plants that have a quick return. You don't wanna plant something, let's say like a plum tree as a sapling, and you have to wait up to 5 years to get fruit. You need food now. Okay, let's begin. You ready? You ready? First and foremost, while everything is still running in a way, acquire as many planting seeds as you can right now, online, in the store. Buy, hopefully they're not seasoned or radiated, lentils, beans from the store that you can grow later on, not just for eating. You know, all you need is a couple handfuls. You could buy a pound or more, just take a couple handfuls just for planting. But buy seed stock before you go into the grocery store to buy dried goods and hopefully they germinate. And I'm gonna begin with general crop that everybody should be growing. And then we're gonna continue on with some other aspects of different crops that I think you should be growing for different things. First and foremost, you should be growing tomatoes. Hopefully indeterminate tomatoes that just keep growing, keep producing until frost. That's good for fresh eating. Determinate tomatoes are good for like, fresh eating as well, but canning. Okay, I put Tallinn to sleep. Poor little girl. Okay, so with the three sisters, the squash is going to help moderate the soil conditions like a ground cover. The corn can grow up like a trellis for the climbing or pole beans. And the pole beans can become a nitrogen fixer for all of the surrounding plants around it. The other plant that is a must for almost any gardener is kale. It's just so well-rounded, great for juicing, great in salads, great in really anything. So if there's a leafy green you want to grow, it's going to be kale. Another one that everybody should be growing is strawberries. High in vitamin C and attracts pollinators. And also do your research beforehand. The young tender leaves are edible. And before I get to my last crop that everybody should be growing in my opinion, you have to be growing sunflowers. High in fats, vitamin E, and amazing attractor of pollinators. And stores very well. Now before we go into the other list that I created for crops that you should be growing that have different key aspects, the last general crop that I think everybody should be growing, not just for the crop, but the edible leaves as well, is sweet potatoes. Easy to grow, easy to harvest, edible leaves, do your own research on how to cook them properly. Just all around great food. Okay, now the other thing I wanted to talk about and nobody else really did is fruit trees. And I can see why nobody else put in their videos about a survival garden with fruit trees, because if you're planting a sapling now, it's gonna take up to 5 years to produce anything that's worth harvesting. So you need food now. So I understand why they didn't put it, but there's some fruit trees that still can produce very early on. And I grow in this plot, in my house, about 75 different fruit trees. I thought about all of them. And I gotta tell you, it wasn't easy creating this list. It's a short one, but it wasn't easy. And there is 2 fruit trees that I'm gonna pick, and one that's, I guess you can consider a fruit tree. It's really a cactus, nopales, prickly pear cactus. That's something that is easy to grow. The other ones that are considered a fruit tree is one, the jujube. Mine produced in the first year about 50 fruit of jujubes. And the best part about them, they're said to be, I can account for months of storage, but they're said to be good to store up to 3 years. The other one is figs. Now, I thought about the northern climate gardeners out there here in America and anywhere else in the world that's watching. It might be too cold for figs, but there are some cold hardy varieties. I will not recommend anything I don't know of. If I read it online, I don't care. Oh, it says it goes down to 5 with protection. I want to know somebody personally that has grown that particular variety. And I do know of 2 people that grow these varieties of figs in the northern climate of Washington, and it does work. One is the Desert King, can go down to zone 6 with protection, zone 5, and the hardy Chicago can go down to zone 6 and maybe zone 5 with really good protection. The other list is going to be kind of focusing on plants that you can grow in pots, plants that you can grow in the ground easily, and plants that will deter or disguise themselves from thieves. There's going to be a lot of people, if you're planting in your front yard, that are going to steal stuff. I've had my strawberries stolen in the front by a whole family with children. So once again, a lot of videos didn't talk about this. So I'm gonna talk about it right now. What plants to grow in the front yard that people may not know it's actually a crop. But to be honest, everyone, everybody thinks food just comes in boxes. Nobody knows what food really looks like anymore. So let me just say that before I start this list. Number one, sweet potatoes / potatoes. Many people don't know what they look like. It's just vines, or potatoes shoot up some leaves. That's it. They just think it's a ground cover. They don't know that there's highly nutritional stuff underground. Perfect disguise. The other one, if you don't want to grow potatoes, and an amazing crop to grow in a pot, also potatoes can be grown in a pot, is sunchoke or Jerusalem artichoke. Not many people are talking about this plant. It's a shame. It's a bee attractant for its flowers, and it's amazing bounty of food. I have a video about it as well. I'll put it in the description. I'll put a lot of videos in my description. Another crop that people aren't talking about, or no one even thinks about, like 99% of people, are dandelions. The leaves are delicious and highly medicinal and nutritious. I don't know why people just pull them up. There's a reason why they're there. Our land is designed to have our medicine and food around us. We just think it's just a nuisance. And now I hope you're not going to be pulling up your dandelions. Think twice before you pull up something. It could be very beneficial to you. Another major one that is so delicious and people just spray it or people pull it up. It only comes in the cooler part of late winter, early spring, but it's chickweed. Chickweed is amazing. It's amazing sauteed. It's amazing in salad, it's amazing fresh, and it's amazing if you have chickens. Hello, chickweed. I added this in right before I clicked record on this video. It's Swiss chard. And the reason why I recorded it is it could take the heat and it could take the cold. And it's highly nutritious. Another one, something that people aren't talking about again. It's boggling my mind. Garlic. Do I have to explain? I don't have to list the properties and the medicinal and the storage and what else you could do with this crop. A great one that you could just plant and walk away in a pot or in the ground, and no one's gonna even think about it. When people are walking in your front yard, no one's gonna think about it, is aloe vera. Amazing crop. If you burn yourself, it's edible. You could put it in a juicer. You could just chop it up and eat it. Do your own research though. Okay, sometimes people say you shouldn't eat it, but I've been eating it for years, and I'm not crazy yet. Another one that you could just find walking around your neighborhood, it's mostly everywhere in the nation, mallow. The poor man's lettuce, I think is referred to, but it's amazing. If you need to eat, you gotta have mallow, easy growing. You don't have to do anything, and it's beautiful flowers as well. Another one that people aren't talking about, beets. Why isn't anybody talking about this stuff? What kind of junky videos are you guys making on YouTube? Okay, calm down, Moses. Calm down. Beets are so easy to grow. Put it in the ground, let it grow. Don't even collect the beet itself. Eat the greens. Don't take all of them off at once. Pick from them. Plant a row of 50 of them and just keep picking the greens. Leave the beet in the ground. And then one day just pull up the beet and eat the beet, or store it, or use it for powdering to make beet sugar. It's amazing. A great one, and something also I didn't hear again, is chives. So easy. Put it in the front yard. Just like the beets. No one's gonna know what a beet looks like in the front yard. No one, okay? Put chives. They just think it's an ornamental grass with pretty purple flowers, or sometimes white flowers. Put chives, collect forever, perennial, may die back in the winter, but will come back. Easy. And another one, maybe some of you heard of it, maybe not, is not just collards, which should be included as well, but people will recognize what a collard is in the front yard, but they're not gonna know what a purple tree collard is. And I have been growing this for over a decade. Purple tree collard. You plant once, you never have to think about it, ever. Produces in the spring, summer, fall, winter, mostly in the winter. Extremely sweet in the winter when it gets really dark purple. The vines are edible if they're still young shoots, and the leaves are edible. No one knows what the heck it is if it's planted in your front yard. I'm telling you right now, unless they watch my channel. And in all honesty, this should have been in the first of this list. It is my #1 go-to plant. It's so precious to me that I have it right outside my patio, 2 feet from the door. And that is longevity and Okinawa spinach. No one is gonna know what the heck that is if you plant that in the front yard. Delicious, will produce forever. I don't have to do anything to it but water it, okay? I don't do anything. And the easiest plant, do you hear me? Come closer, closer. The easiest plant to propagate. A great one, not many of you can grow it, but you probably can grow it in a pot or as an annual, is Moringa oleifera. You could eat it fresh, you could put it in soup, you could put it in salad, you could put it in your juicer. I dry it and I put it in pills. And unless you have neighbors or people that pass by that grew up with that plant, no one's gonna know what a moringa is in the front yard. Another plant that can help people not walk through your yard to steal some crops, and people probably don't know what it is stinging nettle. Some people don't like it, some people do. I like it. You can put it in a tea, put it in a pill, or boil it and cook with it, saute with it. But I'd love to see someone walk through your garden and not know what it is with shorts on, and their ankles just flare up because they're walking through stinging nettle. Now, sometimes when you think about stuff, you have to think inside the box before you look outside the box. There's a lot of shadows in the corners people aren't looking at. And those shadows in the dark corners are mushrooms. People aren't thinking about it. It may be hard to get the spawning bodies now, but if you can, get it and keep trying to propagate it yourself. And if you could hide it, I would plant collards in the front yard too, but a lot of people know what collards are. But if you could hide it, it'll do just fine. Put it right in the middle of the stinging nettles. That may work. Another one that many people that don't know what it is mustard greens. Plant in the front yard, it's gonna do just fine. Oh, my taluch is up. Yeah, gotta keep going. I'm a family man. What do you want me to cut out my children out of my videos always? I can't do it. And another one. Oh, mercy. I cannot believe none of you YouTubers are putting in your videos. Radish. You want a crop within less than a month? Plant a radish seed. You're gonna get radishes in 20 to 30 days in its optimal conditions. Not only that, what's that, Moses? There's more? Oh yeah, there is. You ever eaten radish leaves? Amazing. Radish pesto. Radish pesto.
And something else you should really think about is Egyptian walking onion, or any onion, bunching onion, whatever. But Egyptian walking onion is year-round, perennial, doesn't go away. Plant it once and it's there. You could see the huge bunch of onions in here, and then just cut the greens or pull it straight up and have some onions. And if you're looking from far away, not many people will know what this is. It looks just like a tall grass, but they don't know it's tons of onions.
And the last one in this list of things you could plant in your front yard to deter or disguise thieves that are trying to steal your crops is peanuts. There are many people that don't know what a peanut looks like above ground at all. Some people didn't even know peanuts are grown underground. People that I've done tours with in my garden. And now we're gonna go into the next section, medicinal plants, something others aren't talking about again. The first one is elderberries. Can't eat anything but the berries themselves, and they have to also be processed. Do your own research about elderberries, but it can keep for a long time. You can make jelly, you can make jam, you can make syrup, you can put it in cakes, whatever you want. Once again, do your own research. The other one that we already mentioned, moringa, extremely medicinal. Look it up, do your own research. Amazing plant. And even if you can't get moringa seeds, or grow a tree, try to order moringa powder online or in the store. The other plant that I think a lot of people should grow, but unfortunately it's not that hardy of a plant, is neem, N-E-E-M. It can help you with pesticides, fungicides, miticide, and other things that you can do with this plant. So it's a very useful plant to be growing in a garden to become more self-sufficient. Another plant that a lot of people should be growing in a pot especially is ginger. Amazing properties, amazing value. Now this plant here is my nemesis. If I see it in the ground, I freak out. So I suggest planting in a pot. It's up to you. Is mint. There's many uses for mint for yourself, and also to help with your garden deterrent. There's many rodents that don't like to run through mint to get through certain areas of your garden. So if there's somewhere you need to protect, plant mint. They don't like the smell. Another easy to grow medicinal and herbal plant is rosemary. Another bee attractant as well. Easy to grow, easy to take care of, can take the cold, can take the heat. Rosemary. Simple. Okay, my channel name is Zaatar Garden. So Zaatar is many plants in the oreganum family. The oregano, or oregano, for many of you that say it that way. Thyme and marjoram. So those are great for stews and other things you can use those plants for, and medicinally as well. Zaatar plants are great plants to use to make tinctures with. And of course the last one, and I have to watch out what I say, it's gonna be healthy for you, it's gonna be a great bartering plant, is H-E-M-P. I don't wanna get demonetized or anything. You could spell it out for yourself. Great plant to grow, and also its cousin plant for bartering. Plants that you can grow for your pets. Talk to your veterinarian first before you do any of these. All these have to be steamed before. You can't give them raw. They don't digest plant material that well. Once again, speak to your veterinarian. Sweet potatoes, pumpkins. By the way, pumpkins has edible young leaves for us. Peas and carrots. All of them should be steamed before they eat it. Again, speak to your veterinarian. Now remember, almost all of these plants can be used for bartering really well, but what also can be done for bartering if you need, like, let's say chicken eggs and you don't have chickens. If you're a beekeeper, well, you won if you're bartering with that. Everybody's gonna want honey. But I think a lot of the root crops will really help with bartering with other people. and the other crop that I mentioned that I didn't say the name of. And it wasn't Voldemort, by the way. I think that tomatoes will be a big hit. Anything canned already, prepped, is gonna be great for bartering. Berries, and really hard to find herbs. So let's say like moringa. If people know what moringa is, but they can't find it anywhere, you win. Now, two more that are very special that unfortunately not many people know about or know how to grow or have grown. No one really talks about in these type of videos on YouTube is lentils and chickpeas. Lentils are so easy to grow, extremely easy. Everyone right now should be growing lentils, chickpeas as well, but lentils above all. If there's anything on this list that I didn't think about, you can put it in the comment section below, of course, but remember, I thought about a lot. I mean a lot. I even put down rice and I go, how is anybody gonna really grow rice that easily? I would really appreciate it because I wanna grow more things too. And if you knew something that I didn't think of, I may wanna buy some seeds or the plant and grow it myself. And I hope everybody's doing okay, stay safe, and as always, happy gardening.